Show me a medium so I may go and inquire of her. Since God ain't talking to me directly, let me go hire a witch, he says. Well, oh, that sounds like some of these Bahamians and Caribbean people now. You know, they ain't hear from God no more, so they gone. Paying a couple of dollars and get little things done. God says, Now let's see what happens when Saul did this, all right? Watch what happens when Saul did this. It says here, now he misused and abused the kingdom of God. Here's what it says in First Chronicles 10:13, what happened to Saul. It says, and Saul died because he was unfaithful to the Lord. He did not keep the word of the Lord and even consulted a medium for guidance. What? Saul died because God killed him. This man made a mistake. God wasn't mad at him, but he consulted the wrong media to get information. What are you doing at 2 o'clock in the morning on your internet? What are you consulting? Where do you surf, young people, to get your information about life? God said he died because he chose the wrong media to listen to. What books do you buy? What stations do you keep your radio tuned to in your car, young men and women, older men and women? What is constantly being said to your conscious mind and downloaded eventually in your heart? It's the power of the media. The devil is after your soul. And Saul lost his because he went after the wrong media. It says, so the Lord put him to death and turned the kingdom over to who? David. Over to who? David. Now, I want you to follow David's life versus Saul's life. David had serious media, eh? The largest song book in the Bible was written by this man. It's called the Book of Songs. And if you read and listen to his hits, the Lord is my strength and song. Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Hey. I mean, Dave had the media in the bush, dancing in the mountains. In other words, if you can't find good media, write your own. Got it, young people? That's why I'm so proud of our young people. And listen, we just getting warmed up. I'm about to kickstart this ministry with new structure. By November, we're going to be on a glide ride. And I'm telling you, we're going to have some stuff happening here that's going to blow you away. I'm just in the preparation stage here. But we're going to have to grab the media in every area to control what goes into the minds of our nation. You can't just sit back and get mad. You got to participate and be glad. You can't leave it. Let's talk about the first use of the media. Before anything existed, what did God use for the media? This is interesting. The first media was simply the word. Everybody say word. Boy, words are important. The word is the medium used by God to communicate his will, his desire, his thoughts, and that resulted in what? The creation of the world. In other words, God had an idea in his mind. He used the media of the word to get it out, and the word produced creation. In other words, the mediation between God and creation is the word. So the first one to introduce media is God himself. And the word was his first media. And today it is still the most powerful media. What you hear will either kill you or save you. Write this down, please. Genesis 1 says, and God said, verse 3, verse 6, and God said, verse 9, and God said, verse 11, and God said, verse 14, and God said, verse 20, and God said, verse 24, and God said, verse 26, and God said. God did everything by using this medium of the word. John chapter 1, verse 1 to 3, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the same was in the beginning with God. important thing here is to notice that the Word is God. Do you see that? Okay, let me explain why. This word is important. It's the word logos, L-O-G-O-S. Write it down. The word therefore is the word logos. The Hebrew word and the Greek word here that is translated in Hebrew and the Greek for logos, it actually means this. It means expression of a thought. Write it down, please. Logos means what? Expression of a thought. Come on, I want you to be smart now, young people. Get this and understand it. The word logos means what? Expression of a thought. So if you were to read that verse and use the literal meaning, it'll sound like this. In the beginning was the expression of God's thoughts. And God's thoughts was God. And God was his thoughts. All things were made by the thoughts of God that were expressed. Verse 14, and the thoughts of God became flesh and dwelt among us in a body. So, why is that important? Let's understand. Words are thoughts, containers. When you speak a word, it takes your thoughts away from your mind, and it gives you a vehicle to use to transmit your thoughts, and therefore it's the most powerful media on earth. When I give you a word, you just got one of my thoughts. Thoughts are invisible, but when you speak, they become audible, and therefore I cannot know what you're thinking until you talk. What is a thought? A thought is a silent word. What is a word? An expressed thought. What is a thought? Your thought is your idea, your concept. What is your word? Your expressed concept. So when you speak to me, you are giving me what's in your heart. Write this down. Words control thoughts and create life. So you got to be careful who you listen to, because they are giving you their mind. Now, there's a statement we make in the Bahamas that's very serious, but we don't think it is. And that is, we use this term, I'm going to give you peace of my mind. That is literally true. When people talk to you, they are giving you a piece of their minds. And if you listen to them and receive it, you've just added their mind to yours.